Hello and good evening all. Welcome back to the BBC. I'm Ian Garrison.
And I'm Alan Bailey. I'm not wearing pants at the moment, but that's okay because you can't see below this F.
Indeed,
Welcome
the
to
benefits,
election.
the benefits of newscasting on Zoom.
Perfect, exactly. Welcome to this edition of News Minute. It is currently happening in the US, a presidential election. The results are coming in, and the shockwaves of their results have reverberated around the world.
Obviously, it's too early for the BBC to provide much comment, and certainly, Alan, but neither of the losers have yet conceded. Although, if I do say so myself, the winner is rather apparent.
Indeed, in an unsurprising turn of events, Kanye West netted 140 million votes, resoundingly defeating both of his opponents.
Lying left Liberal Socialist sleepy Joe Biden and Donald Trump apparently couldn't believe it, as scenes of jubilation erupted across the country.
The apparent victor tweeted Kanye 2020 on election night between tweets about a 2 Chainz song and challenging Will Ferrell's daughter to a dance battle.
Clearly the president-elect with the level-headed priorities needed in this trying time. His victory was decisive as he swept key voting blocs such as ghosts, fast food workers, Wyoming residents, and Donald Trump's family.
In the US state of Florida, moving on, people who are arrested are required to post a mugshot of themselves along with a description of their offense in public databases.
This has led to some very strange crimes being publicized. Here are a few of the most outlandish from our BBC research desk. This segment of reports, years old, includes such stories as a Florida man who allegedly threatened his family with Coldplay lyrics and then ended an armed standoff after a SWAT team promised him pizza.
Well, I guess if I had been threatening someone with Coldplay, pizza would have probably calmed me down too.
Indeed.
This Florida man claims he only drank at stoplights and not while driving, yet was still arrested for driving under the influence.
I think he misunderstands the offense there just a bit, Alan.
Earl, maybe you got to work on this.
Additionally, a 93-year-old woman in Florida was arrested for not paying rent. Her explanation was that she, quote, thought she was going to die soon.
This old Florida woman, look at her. She's an ancient. I guess it makes...
I can explain the confusion.
Finally, and somewhat strangely, this is Mayor Boyd Corbin, who was arrested for beating a drag queen with a tiki torch while dressed as a member of the Ku Klux Klan, a U.S. ethno-national terrorist white supremacist group, is now running for mayor.
He claimed the incident was ironic and that he was falsely accused. And now, Alan, I believe we have an interview with a local official and a real American himself, Boyd Corbin.
Is that true? Well, I better go find Boyd, because I think he's not quite yet in the studio.
We'll wait patiently for him to arrive. Thank you, Alan.
Okay. Wow, hello!
Welcoming to the air now, Boyd Corbin. Boyd, welcome, you're on.
Sorry, 1 second, y'all. Hey, would you be quiet? I'm on an interview with them folks from the BBC. Okay.
Boyd, indeed you are. This is the BBC live from London, and welcome to the air. First off, how did the election go?
Well, it was going real good, and I had most of the votes, but then some liberals sabotaged all my ballots and made a ton of votes for them instead. I didn't get a single vote.
I'm so sorry, Boyd. Could you perhaps tell us a bit about Wilton Manors? It's a country estate, yes? How are the gardens? Any tapestries?
Well, we got golf courses. We don't got no gardens. We're actually a town in South Florida. We got some gas stations, flamingos. Did you know that the plastic pink flamingo was invented in Wilton Manors? It's a point of pride.
But Florida, that's exciting. According to our research from the BBC research desk, that is the state in the US populated entirely by alligators, retirees, and Hulk Hogan's children.
Yep, that just about sums it up.
Wonderful, thank you, Boyd. Now, turning for a moment to you and your candidacy, I have a news story here from 2014.
Hey, don't you dare talk about that. Them drag queen story ain't true. I was framed, okay?
This story isn't about a drag queen, Boyd.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, is it true you were once caught selling illegal porcupine tranquilizer in Thailand? And if so, are you still in the business?
Well, we should probably talk about this after the recording.
Okay. I have another news story here.
Hey, don't you dare talk about them drag queen thing. I
This is
already
a different
told you
story,
that-
Boyd. I was going to ask you about an instance with you in Australia participating in underground kangaroo boxing.
Now that's fake news. I never did that.
Will that be a response to all of my questions?
Well, if they're all fake, like your other ones have been.
Car accident with Jared Kushner.
Fake!
Tennis racket attack in Hong Kong.
Fake!
The thing with the crabs? What?
Well, that might have an incy bit of truth to it, but I'd had a lot to drink that night, so give me some room.
Great. I've only got one more question.
Okay, give it to me.
So did you light a drag queen on fire with a tiki torch in front of 1,000 other people while dressed in a KKK hood?
Oh, you little... Well, that was interesting.
Quite an exciting interview. What an American.
Yeah, huh. Okay, yeah.
Welcome back, Alan. Thank you for
Robin,
rejoining us,
everyone.
old chap. We head now to the Far East at a press conference in Pyongyang, where Russian President Vladimir Putin has announced his unexpected engagement to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
The state television channels of each country initially announced the engagement, stating that both great leaders met while wrestling bears in Siberia, and originally bonded over their shared hobbies of nuclear armament and poisoning dissidents.
The wedding will reportedly be officiated by Dennis Rodman, Rudy Giuliani, and a living bottle of vodka. North Korean state news has provided us convincing photographic evidence of the engagement. Alan, if you wouldn't mind screen sharing for just a moment.
Not a problem. I'm still not quite good at this screen
It's okay.
sharing thing.
Even us at the BBC are slowly...
Okay. And here we are.
Wonderful pictures. A beautiful love story, clearly.
Yes. Do you see how their arms make a heart together?
It's iconography of a very high degree. Here
Yay.
they're mimicking some classic Americana, Putin being a famously strong man in both senses of the term.
He enjoys taking his shirt off, as we have seen in past examples, such as him riding bears.
Indeed. And finally, their shared love of riding and dominating various animals is referenced here. You see, they're quite close to kissing, which is something I have never experienced, but I've been told is quite romantic.
Oh, yes. Kissing. Welcome. Okay, yeah. Let's just move on.
Thank you,
now.
Alan. Let's move on.
Painful.
Wonderful. And in fact, Russian state news has offered us an interview with a Kremlin spokesman. I'd like to go get him off screen. Bryce, or Alan, would you mind introducing him?
Okay, this is Vladimir Vladimirovsky. Russian state news has provided...
Hello, yes, I am here.
He's...
Hello, I speak on behalf of all people today when I think I announce my unbridled joy at the happiness of seeing two wonderful men and statesmen united in the holy bond of Orthodox marriage. I believe firmly
Wi-Fi of Mr. Vladimirkov is not working very well. I've heard that they have had some bear attacks on their Wi-Fi lines in Russia.
Wonderful, the internet connection is quite poor. Yes, indeed. We will attempt to give Mr. Vladimirkov back in just a moment. Thank you, Alan, for notifying me of the issue.
Okay.
Hello, is Wi-Fi connection working better now?
I can hear you now, Mr. Vladimirkov.
Wonderful, I had to wander out into tundra and kill bear.
Okay.
Hello, British BBC. I speak on behalf of all people today, I think, when I announce my unbridled joy at the happiness of seeing two wonderful men and statesmen united in the holy bond of Orthodox marriage. I believe firmly in my heart that they will make many, many beautiful children together. You agree, Dad?
Well, I guess so. Isn't this a bit hypocritical considering the virulently homophobic actions your government has taken in the past?
No. It's Western imperialist propaganda. In Russia, we treat LGBT very well, and we do not send to Gulag usually. Mr. Putin is in long line of great loving relationship between Russian leader and other president.
Well, I was unaware of any such precedents.
Like Stalin and your Winston Churchill.
Okay, Mr. Vladimirkov, we can't have you spreading this misinformation on air.
Oh. No, it's not misinformantica. What, you think we beat the Germans together, but as soon as Churchill leave is Cold War? It is very obvious. Look at the data, British BBC.
Thank you, Mr. Vladimirkov. I think that's all that we will hear from the Kremlin tonight. Please escort him out of the studio. Thank you. Ladies and
indeed,
gentlemen.
Of course. I'm quite sorry about that.
Okay. Wow. So we have some breaking news instead from Australia, of all places. I thought nothing happened down there. Ian, thanks for rejoining us.
Of course. Glad to be back, old chap. Earlier today in Melbourne, a tour bus was upended by an army of wild wombats, reportedly angered over President Donald Trump's baseless claims of voter fraud.
Indeed, two wombats wore red hats stamped with MAGA and claimed American Trump supporters to be their cousins.
Yes, indeed. It's unclear whether, when asked if he means ideologically or biologically cousins, lead wombat Daryl replied, quote, both.
It is as of yet unclear whether the wombats have any particular policy goals, although some have formally petitioned the government of Canberra to allow them passports and visas to travel to the United States.
Trump himself became involved in the dispute, tweeting at 3 a.m. characteristically, wombats are, all caps, great and friendly people. Should be let in. Much better than sad Jake Tapper and failing CNN. Hashtag stop the steal.
We may be seeing some furry cousins in the US soon. Watch out for that, Americans. One more quick story tonight from California, where Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, has announced plans for an iPhone 69.
The planned device will cost several $1 million and be made from computer chips made of diamond. Although the interior electronics will be virtually indestructible, the company announced a complete refusal to change its glass-making process, which means it will break just as often.
This new phone will be roughly the size of a human torso, which Cook says is definitely big enough to fit in the average pocket. I agree. Have you ever seen a pocket like this? Anyway.
No, Alan, but perhaps I'm just back on the times. Who knows what the youth are wearing now?
No.
You will lock the phone.
Sorry, my mother is here. I'm staying at her house during the quarantine.
Wonderful. Always great to have Mum in the studio.
Yeah.
You will lock the phone using a retinal ID and charge it using a lightning conversion Bluetooth battery pack that cost an additional several £1,000s. Siri will now be capable of ordering food for immediate delivery from anywhere in the world and deploying Predator drones. Microsoft, Cook reminds us, still does not have software capable of covert assassination.
There's lots more coming up on BBC One, so stay tuned for 5 hours of the Queen sipping tea to the national anthem as we prepare to recolonize South Africa. I'm Alan Bailey.
And I'm Ian Garrison for News Minute. Thank you for watching, and good night.
Hey Siri, deliver a pepperoni pizza to BBC World Headquarters. Signing out.